Investigative journalist Lee Fong, who has been a guest on this program many times, now over at Vice, has quite a revelation based on some Freedom of Information Act requests that he's been filing. It seems that multiple judges that are on the FISA court that continues to approve NSA requests for bulk data from the big telephone companies, including Verizon, also seem to be buying Verizon stock. Lee Fong writes, on May 28th last year, Judge James Zagel, a FISA court member since 2008, purchased stock in Verizon. In June of this year, Zagel signed off on a government request to the FISA court to renew the ongoing metadata collection program. He's not the only one. According to the personal finance statements of all the FISA court judges, FISA court judge Susan Wright purchased Verizon stock, and FISA court judge Dennis Saylor has owned Verizon stock and last year collected a dividend, albeit one of less than $1,000. This may, the left wing is completely blowing up over this, and some on the right as well. I want to take a measured approach here. This is not necessarily a sign of true corruption, but it does raise some serious basic ethical questions. Ethics rules say that judges need to recuse themselves from cases where they have a financial stake in the outcome. But this isn't that clear cut, because whether or not Verizon is forced to turn over these records to the NSA does not really link with profitability for Verizon. And there are some reports that say the companies like Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, etc., received significant amounts of money for, quote, volunteering this information over to authorities that, as far as I know, based on my research today, has not been definitively proven. So there's absolutely no question that, number one, I don't have a particular fondness for the FISA court. Number two, that I don't like whatsoever what's going on with these presumably individual sovereign companies and government record collections. But I'm not completely ready to jump all over this and say the judges are personally profiting from approving these requests.
Right. Like you said, I don't really see a link between handing this information over and making money. I don't think it works that way. But I don't know. It's like you said, it still seems like a conflict of interest. But I don't know. At the same time, it's just a guy buying stock in a company.
Professor William Ross, who's an expert on judicial ethics, had the following to say. He says, I think prudence would suggest that a FISA judge would not acquire investments in these telecommunications stocks. I'm not saying there is a conflict of interest, which my impression says there's probably not. He adds, this is between what's improper and what's prudent. And I agree. I don't think we have proof here, and I don't know that we want to now be focusing on this as the primary issue surrounding jurisprudence, NSA record collections, etc. But I think it would certainly be better if individuals in these positions, and by the way, all members of Congress, because look at the decisions they make and how those affect public companies in which they can own stock every day, they should probably not own these stocks, and that, I think, is the broader issue here.
I know if what this judge made amounted to less than $1,000, what's the point of getting mixed up in this when you know someone could point this out and start accusing you of corruption?